me feeling like I'm Akademiks.
And Shreveport studio, he's going to be launching a studio there, basically trying to follow the Tyler Perry model. I don't know if you guys ever seen, but Tyler Perry basically essentially conquered Georgia. And, you know, the reason why he's a billionaire, Tyler Perry studio tour, he did this in Atlanta. Now, the majority of the studio is, majority of movie studios are actually listed or actually in L.A. Tyler Perry, who's a guy who's written, directed, produced, and even starred in his own films, because he's a one-man army and he's kind of acquired the resources and wealth that said, hey, I don't need Hollywood to be the gatekeepers of them saying yes or no to my movies. He said, I don't need to be in Hollywood. I could just build my own Hollywood. And he took that for what Black Wakanda is, which we all know is Atlanta. So if you guys never seen,
dream come true for everybody.
This is his studio space in and I'm gonna speed this up. You know, I'm not gonna show you everything. This is studio space in Atlanta, and he shoots all of his sitcoms, movies, TV shows here. Here you go.
This was all Fort McPherson Army base. There was an 18-hole golf course here that rivaled Augusta. It was absolutely beautiful. But when the Army went...
By the way, no matter if you, whatever you think of Tyler Perry, you got to have so much, a tremendous amount of respect for him. This man has built a billion-dollar empire from scratch. Like, he's driving around what's equivalent to a town, but it's a whole movie studio and just studios for his shooting.
All right. Here we go. So 12 sound stages. We're getting ready for our big grand opening celebration where we will be dedicating these sound stages to a lot of people who have inspired and encouraged me over the years. So you got Halle Berry here and Denzel Washington and Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah. Lots of things have been shot here. The Walking Dead, Black Panther shot here. First Man, Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg. Really excited to be given stewardship to make sure that the land is maintained, that the history is protected and always serviced and known for many people. This is Maximeville. It's our back lot where I shoot a few of my TV shows.
So basically, these aren't even like real houses. Like, they look like houses that they could do outside shots, but like basically inside, they're like pretty much sets. You know, he's doing sitcoms in these places. He's, you know, some of these houses you're going to notice from some of the sitcoms that you might watch that he's produced or written. And he's just built a whole town of it. And it looks real. It looks like super real, right? But it's a big-ass movie set.
Fans of those shows will definitely recognize some of these houses, especially this neighborhood in particular.
Now, I don't know what he's talking about, but apparently this is people who watch his stuff would know it.
If loving you is wrong. So this area in Maximeville is dedicated to...
Okay, let me click to some more interesting parts. He shows a replica of the White House. I guess he was doing some movie or some TV show that based around the White House, and rather go rent a warehouse or go build something, he built it in his studio lot. And this is how the White House look. Look at this.
That ain't good. That ain't good. Okay, great. Now I'm going to show you the White House.
Look.
Welcome to the White House. So still a lot of cleaning being done here, but I don't know how to turn the lights on.
So they've built a replica of the, you know, the White House, which is in Washington, D.C., but it just built it here that they could shoot their films here, this is crazy. This just shows you entrepreneurship. If you really, you know, you're really doing this film shit and you're really not bullshitting, you're going to do it to the heights that this guy's done it. You know, again, you got to give him all the credit.
Let's go upstairs. This is the 80% replica of the actual White House in Washington, D.C. So we built this for my new show called The Oval on BET. And we're really proud of how it turned out. The residents of the White House, famous, iconic window here, president's bedroom. Some hell has gone on in this room over the last episodes. Oh, we've done some everything here. This is the daughter's room.
Yeah, so.
They are extreme. I don't think the lights are on. I'll show you something. This is Medea's car. She would say.
Nah, he's also popular for the Medea series, so he shows that.
This car goes 2 miles an hour. I can run faster. But the hospital.
Anyway.
Too cool bar.
All right, so I didn't show you this to you know, just be on a Tyler Perry, like, you know, sidebar. I was really showing you guys this because 50 Cent has seen what he's done. And 50, because he's producing all these great shows like Power and all the derivatives of Power and BMF and all these other things that, you know, people have subscribed to Stars to like watch a lot of things that 50 Cent has, you know, pretty much gotten greenlit and gotten produced. 50 is like, wait, maybe I don't need stars. Maybe I could just produce my own, whether it's movies or maybe just straight to Hulu, Netflix, whatever the case is. And this is what 50 is doing in Shreveport, Louisiana. That's where he's picked to do it. So he's debuted, what's called, give me a second, let me just disable this ad blocker. He's debuted what's being called G Unit Studios there. And I don't know if we have a tour or anything of the sort yet, but the city is definitely behind him. Also, if you wonder, I know 50 is usually super spicy, but if you wonder why he toned it down a bit, hey, for you to get that operation going on, you're gonna want to, have the mayor on your side, and you can see right here the mayor of
Shreveport do proclaim Thursday, April 18th, 2024, as Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, the third day.
Now, here's the thing. We all know how these days work. It's like he's bringing a studio to Shreveport. This is a place where, it's a very interesting place, but he's going to be bringing thousands of job opportunities, thousands of millions, or actually millions of dollars in revenue that's going to help, pay for pay taxes and help for the betterment of the entire city of Shreveport, but also just going to help out like the residents there, right? That's the hope. So of course you see once the mayor probably approved the plans, this and third, they're instantly locked in with Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. Yo, we're going to name a day after you, blah, 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 blah. I'm pretty sure he could finesse the situation where they might even throw some money in or throw some very laxative or, lackadaisical, ordinances that, sometimes they'd be like, oh, you can't build a fence over 8 feet. All right, 50, you could go up to 20. You get what I'm saying? They're going to play ball with him because he's going to bring a lot of money to the area. And by the way, that's kind of what happens when some of these huge businesses go into some of these like smaller places. If you look at Disney, I know it says like Orlando, but like it's kind of like, is this town that's right close to Orlando? Disney basically is the government. Like, you know what I mean? The government just let them do what they want to the point where Disney's even subsidizes and pays for some of the fire and police presence there. So basically Disney's like damn near the government. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they'll allow Disney to break all type of rules. You do your own inspections. You do what you want. We'll just have an oversight committee, right? So that's kind of the goal for 50. And 50 has this idea in mind. Now, one of the things, and I know I'm making this long, and I'm sorry for this, but I got to say it. You got to be proud of somebody like 50. This guy's a hustler from Southside Jamaica, Queens. This guy made it after getting shot 9 times, beef with 80% of the industry. Not only that, he made some fuck ups, cashed a couple checks or wrote a couple checks with his mouth that he couldn't cash. And he filed bankruptcy at a point. There was a point that he had this big Connecticut mansion that was, liquidated, right? And eventually people looked at him as subpar to his peers. Who are his peers? They look at Diddy, even though Diddy came way before him. They look at Diddy as his peers. Remember the Billionaire remix? Diddy, you have Jay, and people have looked at him in this ilk. But obviously I have to remember that I sold quarter water in a bottle for $2 and I sold for $1 billion. What the fuck? After he lost that through all the bankruptcy, people were like, damn, 50's entertained on the gram, but will he ever really get back to that billionaire status? 50 realized quickly that the music shit wasn't going nowhere. He pivoted to film. Remember when that nigga lost like 100 pounds? 50 Cent weight loss movie. This was during his acting days. That's when he was getting acclimated with the film industry. I mean, he was going hard. So he learned it through this, obviously, the Get Rich or Die Trying movie, this and third. The guy put in a lot of work. He had these other movies that he was a part of. All Things Fall Apart. It's a bunch of stuff that he was involved in. And now once he struck gold with the Stars thing and doing classics, he's almost like the person that's bringing back essentially almost like, how the classics in the 90s when, we don't see the Boys in the Hoods and some of these like, really cultural movies anymore, even though there's a market still for it. 50's bringing it back. And yeah, this is his $1 billion play. And I'm super proud of him. I can't even lie. I'm super proud of him. So he's chose Shreveport, Louisiana. I'm pretty sure tax purposes, that's perfect. Land purposes, that's perfect. And he's going to do it there. So let me get past all of that. He now wants to warm up to the locals. He's not from Shreveport, Louisiana, okay? He's probably been there a bunch, performed a bunch, but he's not from there. So what he did was he did like this huge like festival, And he wanted to show mostly love to the locals. Like, hey, listen, not only am I going to get y'all employed and get y'all jobs and bring resources here, I'm going to put this city on the map. So I'm going to do what you've never seen before. So he did what's called, let me see if I can find it. It's probably on his page. He did this whole like festival where he had a shit ton of comedians and he had a shit ton of other people show up and basically perform. Can I find it? Where is it? Is it this? Yeah, it was called Humor and Harmony or something like that. 50 Cent Humor Harmony. Here we go. So he had this whole weekend, shout out to $1 Million Worth of Game. They kind of covered the majority of the whole thing. You're missing life. Everybody was down there.
The longest she left, but you.
Okay.
What is the players?
They had a celebrity game. They had also. I'll just play this because look at this news report. Here we go.
City officials say they don't have the numbers to prove it just yet, but Humor and Harmony Weekend made a big economic impact on Shreveport.
This is not just about a party. It's about the economy. 50's, his platform is conscious capitalism. That means deliberately knowing how to use his machine to help the economy.
For the first time in nearly 2 decades, the entertainment district in downtown Shreveport saw thousands of people all in the same space at once and on multiple days.
Certainly some of the people in the entertainment district, some of our longtime tenants, Cassandra's not too long time, but they benefited. I think that Fatty Arbuckle's benefited from it. I'd like to think that other businesses around there, some of the nightclubs and some of the other places would have stood to have benefited. But
Shreveport Mayor Tom Arsenault says the numbers will reflect in the hotel motel tax and the overall sales tax.
The downtown hotels in Shreveport were full. They were full all weekend long. They had a lot of ancillary activities. I'm sure that they did exceptionally well, and I'm really pleased for that, including the Hilton, Samstown, and Bally's.
The success of Humor and Harmony Weekend and the outcome is a result of what can be called the 50 effect.
We understood that this region has been...
Okay, so he also did like a huge comedy show and with performances. We could probably find some like, here we go. This is some of that concert. This is him performing. But Cat Williams, Andrew Schultz, Michael Blackson. Michael Blackson's set was fucking hilarious. So many great people who performed. And I'm going to be honest with you, he brought like a festival down there, like legit, like a heavy hitting motherfucking festival. And everybody was super happy. But not everybody. Hurricane Chris, who's actually from Louisiana, came out and, he felt a little bit of way about the situation. He said this.
How the fuck you supposed to be a nigga that's a part of hip hop? You throw a motherfucking concert in Louisiana and don't book no Louisiana legends and put no bankroll in no Louisiana legends pocket, but you pay the police $500,000. What type of bitch ass shit is that? Nigga, you ain't fucking with my city, nigga. You taking advantage of my city, nigga, cause shit cheap and shit costs way less than it costs where you from. And y'all stupid, slow motherfuckers so crazy that y'all gonna let this nigga come down here and not show no love to Louisiana. This nigga ain't booked no Louisiana artists. This nigga ain't booked Big Papa. This nigga ain't booked B. Will. This nigga ain't booked Hurricane. This nigga didn't even go to Baton Rouge and get no boosies or no webbies. Like, nigga didn't fuck with us. Nigga came to take advantage of us. Shreveport had cheap ass land. He came and bought that shit, and a nigga don't give a fuck about fucking with us. And he just showed you that by paying the police $500,000 when we got young niggas out here starving, when we got young niggas out here killing each other. That fucking money could have went to anything to help the motherfucking youth. We don't need more money invested into the police, nigga. We need more motherfucking money invested into the community. We need motherfuckers who know the community, who know the people, who willing to put their motherfucking feet on the ground to make a difference with their influence. Fuck your money, nigga. We don't care nothing about it, nigga. You think these white people ain't been having no motherfucking money in Louisiana, nigga? They using you to come through this motherfucker and to pay the city up. Nigga, they finna use you to rebuild the roads. They not finna use you to help the youth, nigga. Louisiana give a fuck about jail. How the fuck you supposed to be a nigga that's a...
Okay. Now, that was the first thing he said, and here's what I think. I was a little bit disappointed by Hurricane Chris with this. I spoke to him a few times, not about this, but with what he went through. He was charged for a murder that we found out later was self-defense. he essentially went to trial and actually beat that case. He was found not guilty, and I'm very happy for him. I believe this is a case of a rapper not being able to see the forest from the trees. Again, you can't. I'm not saying he's completely wrong, but you can't judge 50 for his motives with Shreveport off of one weekend and one show. That was just like, it's almost like a grand opening show. You can't say, oh, because you ain't do it then, you'll never fuck with us, right? He knows he's going to build a studio in Shreveport. By the way, there's nothing wrong with him realizing this is the best place to have a studio based on either costs, rules, police, whatever. But I do believe, and I agree with Hurricane Chris, he should make sure the locals, right? Like the local economies also benefit and people are getting jobs. He should want to help locally because he's coming to their land. And it's kind of like what Sauce Walker said a bit, but it matters more here because you're coming to build something there. And nobody wants you to bring outside shit constantly there because it's their place. I get it. But to call out 50 for one show before his studio was even built, you don't know if maybe he's going to take interest in some of the stories that now he's going to get privy to in Louisiana. Maybe he does a story or a movie based on the life of Boosie. Because he didn't bring y'all out to a concert to perform, it's fuck him? No, I get it. You know, maybe if you're from Shreveport, you're like, damn, why, like, or you're from Louisiana, like, damn, why nobody up there was like us? Which, by the way, we're going to get to like some rebuttal, but this is where I always caution rappers. Sometimes I burn the bridge too quickly. 50's setting up an institution. Also, here's my problem with Hurricane Chris saying this. If 50 wasn't somebody of the culture, this happens all the time. This is, you know, in a different residential form of this is what gentrification is. I don't see y'all over here blasting people for gentrification. When y'all see Amazon move in and just clear out a swath of land and build 5 warehouses and now this is their new hub, I don't see y'all cussing out Jeff Bezos. I don't see if, you know, these developers come in and they just clear out a whole land and knock down all the historical houses that everybody great grandma used to live at because they want to build up. I don't see that same energy for that. And it feels like the upset that he is feeling is that, bro, why you ain't put us on an event? It's one an event. He says you ain't paying no Louisiana rappers, but you paid the police $500,000. Well, you got to pay for security. That's just how it works. It's one event. It's one event. There's going to be many more. 50's trying to be there for 20 years. For me, if I'm him, why would you want to burn that bridge? If anything, I'd hit 50, like, yo, let me holler at you, brother. I know you down here. Hey, if not for anything, I want to be somebody who could be by your side because I'm going to show you how we move in this land right here. Because you know there's going to be all type of, you know, shit trickles down, you know, like whatever roles or whatever festivals he's going to bring. I've never, you know, with all due respect to Shreveport, I've never really heard about, we hear about Baton Rouge, right? We hear about New Orleans. We don't hear about Shreveport much when it comes to entertainment. So when I see him go this hard, I'm like, man, I feel like you're hurting yourself. Anyway, after that happened, we had Fredo Bang, who instantly responded. He said this.
Okay. If he ain't book no Louisiana artists, Louisiana legends, who the fuck I am then?
Oh, apparently Fredo Bang was there. Okay. Now, after that, 50 responded himself. And you know 50, 50's one way, man. Like, he's not the guy like, oh, my bad, Hurricane Chris. He wasn't about to do that at all, right? Is this response still up here, or do I got to go find it? Let me see if I got to go find it. I think I do got to go find it. Here we go. I'm going to find it here. So 50 posted up this was actually a movie, and he said, Hurricane Flex, boy, your shit is whack. The fuck you think you, Fredo Bang? Your shit gets no play, my ride. LOL. Yo, it's so surprising to me that I've never seen 50 not be 50. He's just one way the entire time. And even if you don't like some of his antics, you got to appreciate somebody who it's like peanut butter and jelly. Like, you know what it's going to be. You don't have to guess. There's no, what is he going to think now? It's not like Kanye. Kanye could wake up on the wrong side of the bed, put on a MAGA hat. He could wake up on the other side of the bed, go at the Jews. Like, he do anything. 50, we almost could know damn well what he about to say every single goddamn time. Now, we get Hurricane Chris, who responded back to that, right? And he responded, he said this.
Big dummy, you just proved my point. You don't know shit about the city. Shreveport, the nigga just said I got one song. Nigga, I go all the way back to 5 Entertainment. That's how I know you don't know shit about the city, homie. You just a culture vulture ass nigga that seen some shit for sale and you wanted to come profit. Now go ahead and go get some niggas something since I done got on your ass. Go ahead and go try to pound it to some niggas and put some niggas on or do something and help some niggas cause you see I'm getting on your motherfucking ass. Go ahead and try to play chess like that. You ain't gonna outsmart me, nigga. I ain't none of these dumbass fool ass niggas you ever dealt with. Nigga, I got a whole catalog of shit. Me and Boosie got a mixtape. Nigga, I've been dropping music in Shreveport since 05. I've been touring in Louisiana and all these Texas areas since 05. Dumbass nigga don't know nothing about our culture. That's why I was going off on this nigga. Cause I know this nigga don't give a fuck to do no research about us and our people. Shreveport, man, say, man. Stand up or fall for any motherfucking thing. You got to stand up for something, man.
Okay. So, I seen Tony Ayo in the chat. He says, negative news spreads so fast. Okay. Some people say he injected so money into that city's economy and people are so mad. Some people also said, you talking about not doing research, but didn't even do research. Louisiana booked research to Louisiana artist 50 did book at the festival. Just apologize, my G, and move on. Man, I know 50 a lot of times is a bully. And we've seen him incessantly pick on certain people. For example, Diddy. But I'm going to be honest with you. Hurricane Chris is coming off heavily like you feel a little salty and holler at you, man. And for that, I have to say, I think you're messing up your own bag. Because you have a company that's rooted in hip-hop coming to your backyard. And rather than, if I'm you, and maybe you're too stuck in the mindset of getting paid as a rapper. If you know so much about Shreveport, Louisiana, how about you come, the guy's making movies. He's not coming there with a label. So it's interesting you're mad that he didn't book rappers, but he's coming there with a movie company, a studio. How about you come up with some of the original stories of some of either, gangsters, drug dealers. It doesn't have to be necessarily negative, but some of the original stories that's from Louisiana that maybe you could turn to a script that 50 could possibly put on a big screen or put on something that could be on Netflix, Hulu, Stars, or whatever the case is, and then you could be in a different part of your career. Why would you, because you didn't get hired as a musician, why would you hate on someone who's trying to do some film? Again, I don't necessarily think he's trying to hate, but I understand 50's not going to forgive this, right? 50's going to remember this. And I think that's where, you close doors on yourself without realizing the opportunity that's in front of you. You know what I mean? It's just so much a bigger picture. We've heard these stories about Marlo, Mike, and Boosie, and I'm going to be honest with you, that shit kind of sounds theatrical. It sounds like, what? Niggas was doing what? I've watched, some of these documentaries. They sound crazy. Who knows if, obviously, he's not going to only do, Louisiana stuff. He's doing stuff from Detroit. He's doing BMF. He's doing all these type of things. But, if he's in your backyard and you get cool with him, you have the influence to possibly say, yo, shit, come from Louisiana. Shit, I think you should do some rap. Go through the Cash Money, the this, that could come down to be one of the derivatives. Again, I was a little bit confused by this because it felt so short-sighted. The goal wasn't just even if he paid you, what would you get paid? No disrespect to him, but okay, he paid you $15,000 or $10,000 to perform A Baby or whatever, or that and a couple other songs. that would just make you happy rather than you now looking at this like, well, if I get locked in with 50, I could make $1 million play out of this. We got to stop being short-sighted as people. His questions or his objections aren't unfounded, but burning the bridge by going publicly and calling a nigga a culture vulture or saying, oh, he's just using us instantly, like nobody's gonna double back around unless, you know, they're probably white. And you know how 50 get. Once you diss him, it's a rap. So yeah, I thought that was kind of unfounded. Anyway, what else is going on? Let me see. Oh, NBA YoungBoy. So NBA YoungBoy actually took a plea deal. And it was a little bit surprising by me because